Good evening, friends. Hope you all are doing good. So, friends, today we are going to see one of the most and very crucial chapter from the geography, that is climate of India. It is very important chapter. So, positive point about this chapter is so many things have been given in this chapter which are very advanced, okay, which are not given in even 11th and 12th standard NCERT. But thing is that there is no proper background to the many concepts given in this chapter like jet stream and pressure belts. There is no proper background for this. So when I'll come in the class, if you have any doubts, in detail we will be going to cover a climatology chapter. So in that at that time we are going to cover this in very much detail. So friends, let us understand this chapter climatology or climate. So entire climatology has been given in a very brief, okay, in this chapter. Now, as we have seen, weather is nothing but a day-to-day conditions of atmosphere like temperature, humidity, and climate is nothing but an average weather condition of a particular place over a year, okay, or let us say a long-term average of weather condition of particular year. So maximum or average we have seen 40 to 45 years have been taken in determining the climate. So when we say climate or weather, so we consider certain variables which we measure for determining the climate or weather. So these variables are same for both climate as well as weather. So temperature, atmospheric pressure, winds, humidity and precipitation. These variation we consider while considering the climate. They will determine the climate conditions over that region. So when we are talking about climate in case of India, okay, our climate is a monsoon type. Monsoon is Arabic word that we have seen. So monsoon, its meaning, so it is coming from the Arabic word mausin. So mausin, that means season. So this word is coming from the Arabian countries because these Arabian travels used to come to India, and it was very important for this for their trade. These monsoon winds were very important. That's why they gave this name monsoon. So this monsoon, in a way, refers to the seasonal change or reversal of a flow of a wind. So, for example, in the summer season, the winds will flow from southeast to northeast, and in the winter season, it will flow in northeast to southwest direction. So, this reversal of flow of wind is known as monsoon. So, friends, this monsoon, let us go into the much detail. So in India, this monsoon, we have two seasons, that is a winter monsoon and summer monsoon. Okay, so these seasons, let us understand their characteristics in a different forms. So first understand what are the climatic controls of the Indian monsoon. So when we are talking about climatic control, there are certain factors which control the climate of the particular region. So there are 4 to 5 factors like latitudinal location of the particular place, altitude of the particular area. Okay, so these types of various variables are there. So first let us understand latitude. So latitudinal place of a particular place in a on the surface of a globe. So for example, a particular place is located over here. This is A place and this is a B place. So because of the curvature of the earth, okay, so sun rays will be falling in a different manner. Okay, so sun rays will be falling different manner on these places. So latitude will determine the amount of solar energy that particular place will get. Second thing is altitude. So for example, this is a sea surface, this is a mountain. Okay, so one place is located over here and B place is located over here. So on the place A, okay, here pressure of the wind will be very high. Okay, the pressure of the wind will be very high over here. Here pressure will be very low. Getting it? So altitude, as we are moving upwards, temperature will decrease. So on the place A, you will have a higher temperature. On the place B, you will have a lower temperature. So second determinants of the climate is nothing but a altitude. Third determinant of the climate is location from the sea surface. Okay, so for example, one place is located close to the sea surface. This is close to the sea. This is the sea. Okay, So one place A is located very close to the sea or on the seashore, and B is located inside the interior of the continent. Okay, so this distance is very far. Let us say this is only 1 kilometer, and here it is 1,000 kilometer. Okay, so here the place which is close to the sea, it will experience less variability in the climate. Means its average temperature will not differ much of day and night, because sea will exchange heat from the land and land will exchange heat with the sea. That's why this place will have a more stable climate compared to this place. Since the distance from the sea is very less at place B, what will happen? The exchange of heat will not be that much frequent. So cold season will be very cold at the place B, and hot season will be very hot at the place B. So this is the third factor which determines the climate of particular region. Fourth important thing is oceanic currents. Okay, so oceanic currents will also determine the temperature of the particular area. So for example, in a particular region, a warm oceanic current is flowing a nearby shore. So what happens, that area will experience little bit higher temperature. Particular region, if cold oceanic current is flowing nearby shore, so that area will experience lesser temperature. So oceanic temperature is also one of the biggest determinant of the climate of the particular area. This also we are going to see in the oceanography chapters or in the ocean. Now friends, these are the four climatic control you should remember, very important from point of view. Okay, this question can be asked in the prelims. Now, let us understand how India's climate is determined by these various factors. Okay, so first is the latitude. As we know, there is a Tropic of Cancer is going through the center of the India and is dividing India into two parts. So India is in the tropical region as well as it is subtropical region as well. So we have both the types of climate. So this Tropic of Cancer passing through at almost at the center of the India is one of the important determinant of the climate of the India. Okay, so let us say beyond Rajasthan, so coldness of the climate is very high as well as hotness of the climate is also very high. But in the south of this Tropic of Cancer, you have a consistent hot climate. Getting it? Consistent hot and dry type of climate. Okay. So latitudinal position of India and Tropic of Cancer passing through the center of the India plays very important role in determining the climate of the India. Second is the altitude. So you know that India, okay, so okay, pardon me for this graph as I don't have much place to draw this. Okay, so let us understand. I'll draw a very rough chart of India. Okay, so somehow I have drawn this. So let us understand, on the western side we have Western Ghats over here. Eastern side we have Eastern Ghats over here. And here you have a Himalayas. Getting it? So because of this Himalayas, the cold wind is not coming from the central of the Asia. So Central Asia, you have always very cold winds over here. So they are not flowing very in a huge amount to the India. So yes, some wind comes to the India that makes us cold in the winter season, but not huge quantity of the winds are coming to the India. So cold winds from the Central Asia are making us less susceptible because of the Himalayan mountains present in this region. So altitude or Himalayas play a very important role in determining the climate. Also, Western Ghat here determine the type of rainfall in the Deccan Plateau. Eastern Ghat also determine the type of rainfall on the western coast as well as the eastern part of the India. So altitude also matters. Altitudinal locations also matters in terms of determining the climate of the India. Third is a pressure and winds. So pressure and winds is one of the very important thing. See, pressure and wind means there are different pressure belts on the surface of the earth. So in this NCRT, they have directly mentioned this. There is no background given to the pressure belts over here. So there are different pressure belts in the different parts of the world. So in India we have at 30 degrees, you can say Jammu and Kashmir, and below beyond Delhi, we have almost high pressure belt starts from there. Okay, so because of the presence of high pressure, winds always flow from high pressure to low pressure. Okay, so winds will always flow from high pressure to low pressure. So these flowing of the winds during winter season from high pressure to low pressure, that is from north to the south of the India, and during summer flowing of the wind from south to the north of the India because of the presence of low pressure in the Ganga plain. Why it is happening, how it is happening, that we are going to see in detail. Okay, so these pressures and winds also play very important role. Then there is a something called as upper air circulation or called as a jet streams. Okay, they are almost 8 to 10 kilometers above the surface of the earth. Okay, so there are two types of we can say winds. One is a surface wind, another is a upper air circulation. Okay, third is a cyclonic western cyclonic disturbance. So what happens, there is a Mediterranean Sea. On the Mediterranean Sea, in winter season, cyclones develop over there, and the moisture is carried to the India by certain types of jet stream. So that also affects the climate of the India. So how it happens and when it happens, that is a very detailed thing we are going to see slowly. Okay. So these are the important factors, pressure and winds, which determine the climate of the India. Okay. So as we have seen, the position of India. Okay, so India is in the zone of trade winds. Okay, tropical, tropic of Cancer is passing through the center of the India. So what happens? Trade wind also blow through India, as well as westerlies. Some part of the India, westerlies also go through the some parts of the India. So what happens during the winter season? Northeasterly winds, okay, northeasterly winds blow from northeast. Okay, so this is a northeast to the southwest. So in the winter season, winds are blowing from northeast to southwest. Okay, it makes India very cold. It brings coldness to the country. Also, there is a high pressure developed in the Ganga plain. Okay, that also makes India very cool region in the winter season. In the summer season, opposite thing happens. What happens in the summer season? Summer season, low pressure develop in the Ganga plains and winds are blowing from Indian Ocean towards the Himalayan region. So during the summer season, we have hot winds and humid winds along with a huge amount of moisture blowing through the India. So how this is happening, when this will happen, we are going to see. Right now this is little complex. Some of you may not understand this. It requires certain basic understanding, but this is not given in this chapter. And if I don't want to focus on that because then this lecture will go for 4 or 5 hours. Okay. So let us understand this in a brief. If you don't understand anything, please ask me on the social media, or as we will move forward to see the new chapters, we will ask this. So what happens here? Coriolis force plays very important role in determining the climate of India as well as at various places. So you need to understand the Coriolis force in terms of understanding the jet streams. Okay. So without understanding the jet stream, you won't be able to understand the Coriolis force. Coriolis force is a type of a pseudo force. Getting it? So let us say this is a Earth. Just for a second. So let us say we have Earth. So Earth is rotating from west to east. Okay. Because of this rotation of the Earth, what happens? An object moving with a very high speed, for example, an aeroplane is flying. if Earth was not moving, so it want to reaches to the pole. So what happens if aeroplane starts from this region, okay, and it flies from this region to the pole, it will go in a straight line in a case when Earth is not moving. But because of the movement of the Earth, okay, Coriolis force deflects any object towards its right hand side in the northern hemisphere and left hand side in the southern hemisphere. Getting it? So you just have to understand this Coriolis force is a very pseudo force and it deflects objects to the right hand side in the northern hemisphere and left hand side in the southern hemisphere. It is also known as a Farrell's law. So this Coriolis force makes winds flow from southwest to northeast and northeast to southwest. If Coriolis force was not there, winds would have moved directly from north to south and south to north. Getting it? But they are moving, they are taking turn to the right hand side in the northern hemisphere because of the Coriolis force. Now, let us understand the jet streams. Jet streams play a very important role in developing the climate of the India. Jet streams are the upper air circulation. They are present 12 km above the surface. Getting it? Because of the Coriolis force, air turns right hand side in the upper part of the atmosphere and two belts of the jet streams develop over here. We call it as a subtropical jet and polar jet. So they are subtropical region, they are flowing somewhere around 27 to 30 degrees and polar region they are flowing somewhere around 60 to 90 degrees. Getting it? So these jet streams are very important because they are bringing these western disturbances. Here these cyclones are being formed in the Mediterranean Sea during the winter season, so their moisture is being brought from the Mediterranean Sea to the India with the help of subtropical jet stream. So they play very important role in determining the climate of the India. Also, during the summer monsoon, easterly jet stream develops. These are all westerly jet stream because they are flowing from west to east. In the summer, certain easterly temporary jet stream develops over Tibetan plateau. So they also impact Indian monsoon in a huge amount. So currently the season of monsoon which is going on, okay, in the month of July. So right now we are under the influence of the Tibetan easterly jet stream. Okay, so how it happens, when it happens, definitely we are going to see. No need to worry about this. It requires a sufficient time to explain all the geographical phenomena behind this. So if you don't understand through this chapter, please ask me on the social media, or better thing, we are going to see this in much detail than this. Okay. So now easterly jet streams and westerly jet stream play very important role. How they are playing important role? As I have told you, western disturbances, they are one of the important part of the Indian monsoon. So you can see over here, western disturbances, this is a Mediterranean Sea, okay, and subtropical jet stream is flowing through India like this. So these subtropical jet streams are bringing this moisture into the India. So this is called Mahavat in the local language. So they impact the northern India more. So northern India, the Rabbi crop in Uttar Pradesh, Haryana, Punjab, they are mostly dependent upon these western disturbances. So huge amount of moisture is brought and so sufficient amount of rainfall happens over there, known as a Mahavat. Very important from prelim point of view, this name Mahavat, it can be asked to you. Okay, so western disturbances is one of the major phenomena which is responsible for the development of climate in case of India. Also, what are the other factors which affect climate in case of India? So here cyclonic disturbances developing in the Arabian Sea and the Bay of Bengal, they also affect the climate of the India. So in the winter season, you have cyclones coming from the Bay of Bengal, and sometimes in the summer, just recently one cyclone came from the Arabian Sea, okay, during the month of June. So that is also one of the phenomena which affect the climate of the India. How it is going to affect? Definitely we are going to see this in detail. Okay. Now, friends, in the NCRTs and in this chapter, you should understand certain basic concepts. One of the important basic concept is intertropical convergence zone. Okay, so intertropical convergence. Okay, here what happens? Earth has a various pressure belts. Okay, it has a high pressure belt, low pressure belt at various places. So at 30 degrees, it has a high pressure belt over here on the both the hemisphere. So you have high pressure belt over here, and at 0 degree it has a low pressure belt over here. Okay, and as I told you, wind flows from high pressure to low pressure belt. Okay, so winds are flowing from high pressure to low pressure belt. So that's why these what happens, the winds flow from this 30 degrees to the 0 degrees from both the ends, and these winds meet somewhere near 0 degrees. Okay, so these winds which are there at the 0 degrees, they are meeting each other at the 0 degrees. So this is known as intertropical convergence zone. Getting it? So this region is known as intertropical convergence zone or ITCZ. Okay. So I hope you have understood this. Okay. So this ITCZ is very important region. It keeps on shifting. It does not remain over here. According to the position of the sun, it shifts 5 to 10 degrees northward as well as 5 to degrees 10 degrees southward. Okay. So this ITCZ, movement of the ITCZ matters a lot in determining the Indian monsoon, because in the month of summer, in the summer season, this ITCZ shifts near Ganga plain. Getting it? So that's why these results into flowing of trade winds from the southern hemisphere to the northern hemisphere. Okay. So this is one of the thing that affects the Indian monsoon. Now let us understand how Indian monsoon is being formed and what are the different components which help in the formation of the Indian monsoon. Okay, so monsoon is not just in India. Okay, monsoon climate is there in the China, in Southeast Asia, some parts of the Brazil, some parts of the Africa, it is there. But in India, Indian climate is very famous in the names of monsoon because it is very prominent. Okay, so what are the various factors which are responsible for the Indian monsoon? So let us understand what are the factors mentioned over here. So first important factor is the differential heating and cooling of a land and water. Okay. So what happens during the summer season? Land is heated very high. So low pressure develops in the Ganga plain. Compared to that, sea is heated very less. So in comparison, sea is heated very less. That's why Indian Ocean has a very high pressure. So definitely winds are flowing from Indian Ocean to the Ganga plain. So moisture laden winds will flow from Indian Ocean to Ganga plain. So this is the first factor for determining the Indian monsoon. Second factor is a intertropical convergence zone is coming into the Ganga plain. So what happens? As I told you, trade winds from both the sides are meeting at the ITCZ. Now, when ITCZ was at the 0 degrees, all the winds are going to 0 degree. Now ITCZ is at the center of the India. So trade winds from the both the hemisphere will come and meet at the Ganga plain. So initially, trade winds from the southern hemisphere used to meet ITCZ at 0 degrees. Now, this 0 degree has shifted into the India. So, trade winds from the southern hemisphere will cross the 0 degree and they will come to the Ganga plain. Getting it? So, this is the second factor which causes the Indian monsoon, that is ITCZ. So, this low pressure which is being formed in the Ganga plain, it is also known as monsoon through. Getting it? It is a through which is developed into the Ganga plain. We are calling it as a monsoon through. So this is a second factor which is responsible for the Indian monsoon. Third factor is a high pressure in the near Africa or near Madagascar. So as you guys know that during the monsoon season or during the southwest monsoon, there is a high pressure in the Indian Ocean. So more is the high pressure in the Indian Ocean, better is for the monsoon. So extra high pressure develops near Madagascar. Okay, so that is good for the monsoon, and this is the third characteristics. Fourth characteristics is a heating of the Tibetan plateau. So Tibetan plateau gets heated very high, and because of that, one jet stream, temporary jet stream forms over there called as a tropical easterly jet stream. This easterly jet stream is responsible for creating high pressure in the Indian Ocean. Okay, how this creates, why this creates, this we'll see later. But right now you just remember that one jet stream develops during the monsoon season on the Tibetan plateau and it creates high pressure in the Indian Ocean. Okay, so this is one of the important factor in the development of the monsoon. And last important factor is a westerly jet stream. Okay, westerly jet stream also plays very important role in the development of the monsoon. Westerly jet stream or subtropical jet stream flows over the Himalayas or flows south of the Himalayas. Okay, so what happens during the monsoon? These westerly jet streams shift over the Himalayas or north of the Himalayas. So generally jet streams are associated with the high pressure belts. Okay. So when they are present south of the Himalayas, then there will be a high pressure in the Ganga plain. Okay. When they shift to the north of the Himalayas, then what will happen? This high pressure will be gone and low pressure will be set at the foothills of the Himalayas and Ganga plain, which is very good for the attracting monsoon laden winds or moisture laden winds. So westerly jet stream is one of the important components in the development of the Indian monsoon. Okay, so these are the important components of the development of the Indian monsoon. Now, when we have understood the important components of the Indian monsoon, let us understand how Indian monsoon proceeds, what are its various characteristics, how much rainfall it gives, and which area. Okay, one of the important affectants of the Indian monsoon is the El Nino. Okay, El Nino or El Nino Southern Oscillation. El Nino is a Spanish word. It means the child or Christ child. Okay. What happens during the El Nino? Generally, you can see in this diagram. Okay. This is a El Nino phenomena over here. So generally, this is a Peruvian coast. Generally, in the normal cases, Peruvian coast always have cold water over here. Okay, so this is Eastern Pacific and this is Western Pacific. This is Western Pacific. Western Pacific have a warm water over here. But during the El Nino, just remember that during the El Nino time, Peruvian coast, warm waters go to the Peruvian coast and this Eastern Pacific has a cold water. So because of that, what happens? Because of that, the moisture from the Indian Ocean region gets transferred to the Peruvian region or Pacific region. Because of that, our monsoon becomes very weak. So this is called as a El Nino. So this El Nino, to measure the El Nino, 2 points in the Pacific Ocean, that is Tahiti and Darwin near Australia, is very important. So their temperature is taken, their pressure is taken near Tahiti and Darwin, and they determine when this El Nino is going to occur. Generally, this cycle of El Nino goes on for 2 to 5 years. It keeps on repeating itself. Okay, so this is a 2 to 5 years of cycle. This is also we are going to see in much detailed than given in your NCRT. So this El Nino is directly affected to the Indian monsoon. So during the El Nino season, our monsoon is very weak, and when El Nino goes and opposite phenomena comes called as a La Nina, that time monsoon is very strong. Okay, so these are the different characteristics which affect the monsoon formation in case of India. Okay, now let us understand the how monsoon is getting set up and how it goes back. Generally, monsoon occurs in India for 100 to 120 days. Getting it? When monsoon arrives, it arrives at the southern tip of the peninsula or near Kerala. It arrives first. So for continuous days, for continuously we experience very high rainfall. This is called as a burst of the monsoon. That means monsoon has arrived. In the month of the June, we have this burst of the monsoon. So when monsoon comes, because of the tip of the Kanyakumari, it gets distributed into two branches, that is Arabian Sea branch and Bay of Bengal branch. One branch go towards North India, another branch goes towards the Bay of Bengal or eastern part of the India. Getting it? So these two branches latter they meet in the Ganga plain and they give the sufficient rainfall in the center India. So Delhi also gets the rainfall from the Bay of Bengal branch. So how it happens, when it goes, how it goes, that we'll see later. So in this way, monsoon keeps on proceeding. In this way, it gives different rainfall to the different region. Okay. So once monsoon is reached to its peak, okay. So monsoon is reached to its peak, then it starts going back or it starts retreating, called as a retreating monsoon. Okay. So during the monsoon season, we have seen winds are flowing like this, southwest to northeast. Okay. Now, during returning monsoon, in this diagram, you can see that winds are flowing in the opposite direction. Getting it? So from northeast to southwest they are flowing. So this season is known as retreating monsoon season. So they are flowing from northeast to southeast. So this retreating of the monsoon starts early September in the northern India. It is very gradual process in the northern India, but southern India it happens very quickly. So by the December, entire monsoon is over from entire subcontinent, and in December, winter will start setting up in case of India. Okay, so this is called as a retreating monsoon season. So in this way, monsoon is happening. So in the various uh, stages it is happening, various components are responsible for the formation of monsoon, and various stages it will withdraw itself. Now let us understand the how this monsoon and other factors gives rise to the different seasons in case of India. Okay, so monsoon is one of the season. So we can say because of the monsoon we have two season. One is a rainy season, another is a winter season or retreating monsoon season. Okay. So first season we have is a cold weather season or winter season, which starts from the December. Then we have a hot weather season or a summer season, okay, which is after the winter season. Then we have advancing monsoon, and then we have a retreating monsoon season. So these are the four seasons in case of India. Let us understand their characteristics one by one. First season is a winter season or cold season. So this season generally happens in the month of December to the, let us say, March. Okay. So this cold weather season, temperature varies in case of North India and South India. If you see Chennai has an average temperature of 24 to 25 degrees. But if you go to the Delhi or you go to the Jammu and Kashmir, temperature is very, very low. So average temperature goes from 10 degrees to 15 degrees. Okay. So here at this time, northeast trade winds prevail. So northeast trade winds are prevailing all over the country during the cold winter season. So during this season, there is some rainfall in case of northern India in the form of western disturbances, and in the southern India also we have some rainfall in the Tamil Nadu in the form of retreating monsoon. Okay, but in generally this season have a very clear skies. Because of the very clear skies and very low temperature, northern India has a very foggy conditions. Getting it? Fog formation is very prominent during the winter season because of the clear skies and very cold nights. That's why fog is being formed. Next season is a hot weather season or summer season. So what happens during the month of April or May? Sun comes on the overhead of the Tropic of Cancer. We call it as a summer solstice. So because sun is coming over the Tropic of Cancer or there is a summer solstice, we start experiencing the hot weather season. So at this time what happens? At this time what happens? A low pressure through starts developing from Rajasthan or Pakistan's Thar Desert to the Bihar. So this horizontal low pressure belt starts forming in this region, and air also start because it is a low pressure. Okay, so air also start falling into this low pressure slowly or circulating around this low pressure. So in the summer season, the prominent feature of this summer season is a hot wind called as a Lu. It is very, very hot wind which blows from Rajasthan to Bihar. So they are very, very hot because of the development of low pressure. These winds are being formed over here, which are blowing from Rajasthan up to the Bihar. And if somebody is exposed to these winds, so many people die because of this wind because they are very, very warm. They just dry out the water out of your body. Okay. So this is one of the important feature of the hot weather season or summer season in case of India. Next season, okay. Next, in this season, what happens? This what I have said talked about this through is developing over here in the month of May. So little bit of moisture is being attracted over in this through, and a scanty rainfall or low rainfall, patchy rainfall happens in different parts of the country. It is known as local rainfall in different areas. It is known by different names. So in West Bengal, it is known as Kal Baisakhi. Okay. In Karnataka and in Kerala, it is very helpful for the development of the mangoes. So they are calling it as a mango showers. Okay, and uh, also in different parts of the India, like Assam, it is known as Bardoli Chira. So different names have been given in this in this to this particular phenomena. So this low pressure which is being developed. So summer season, lots of tornadoes are formed. That is local circular flowing of the wind in the upward direction. We are calling it as a tornadoes. So they are forming and they will be giving a very scanty rainfall. So they are little bit of relief to the people. Okay, so that's why these are the certain characteristics of the summer season in case of India. Okay, so friends, next season that we have is a rainy season. Now, as I have told you, Ganga plains, very low pressure have been developed, and this low pressure has attracted the moisture laden wind from the Indian Ocean region. So this moisture laden wind is coming up to the Ganga plain. We are calling it as a monsoon. So this monsoon is giving very high rainfall in the different region. Arabian Sea branch gives very high rainfall in the Western Ghats region. Okay, almost more than 250 centimeters. Since central India, Karnataka, and Maharashtra is these winds are being obstructed by the Western Ghats, the winds are not reaching to the central India, Karnataka, and Maharashtra. So this part will get lesser rainfall compared to the western side of the Western Ghat. So western side of the Western Ghat will get more rainfall, and eastern side of the Eastern Ghat will get lesser rainfall because of this huge mountain. Okay, so highest rainfall in India is given to the northeastern part. Okay, because of the presence of Garo, Khasi, Jaintia, Patkai and Purvanchal hills, highest amount of rainfall is happening in this northeastern part of the India. So world's highest rainfall is happening in the Mount Sindram, which is present in the Khasi hills of the Meghalaya. So highest rainfall is happening over here. Then what happens because of the Patkai boom and because of the Himalayas, these rains are diverted towards the northern India. So Bay of Bengal branch, okay, as we have seen two branches are there. One is a Arabian Sea branch which goes like this upwards, and another is a Bay of Bengal branch which goes like goes towards, okay, so which goes to the Bay of Bengal or which goes to the northeastern India. So what happens because of the Patkai boom, these branches will be diverted towards the northern India, and finally Arabian Sea branch will come and meet to the Bay of Bengal branch in the plains of the Ganga. So Arabian Sea branch gives lesser rainfall to the northern India, but Bay of Bengal branch gives a higher rainfall from the northern India. That's why rainfall goes on decreasing from east to west. Okay, east to west in the Ganga region, because Bay of Bengal branch is giving more rainfall and it is coming from the eastern side. So eastern side will get more rainfall compared to western side. And definitely Gujarat and Rajasthan, they are coming to the rain shadow region of the Western Ghats. So they are getting very scanty rainfall from the Arabian Sea branch, as well as there is no rainfall from the Bay of Bengal branch in this region. So in this way, monsoon is moving from one region to another region. So this is a rainy season. Now rainy season has been finished. Now retreating rainy season will start. One of the characteristic of the rainy season is a breaks in the rainfall. When monsoon starts, it does not happen continuously for 2-3 months. In between, it will have a gap of 7 days, 8 days. Sometimes this gap goes for 1 month or like that. So why this gap happens? So this sudden dry spell, okay. So monsoon, the characteristic is wet and dry spell. So after wet spell, there will be dry spell. So why there will be dry spell? Dry spell is because sometimes the high pressure in the Indian Ocean gets reduced. Why it get reduced? because there are cyclonic depression happening in the Bay of Bengal or Arabian Sea. So cyclones are associated with the low pressure. So high pressure from the Indian Ocean region gets converted into little bit of low pressure. So what happens? Monsoon becomes weak. Okay. So suddenly there will be break in the monsoon. Also, there is a jet stream which I have talked about, which is a subtropical jet stream which has been gone to the north of the Himalayas. Sometimes it comes back to the south of the Himalayas, and as I told you, jet stream is also related to the high pressure. So as soon as this comes to the south of the Himalaya, what is happening? Again, low pressure is weakening in the Ganga basin and foothills of the Himalaya, and high pressure is developing over there, and because of that, suddenly monsoon stops. So there is a break in the monsoon because of these reasons. Okay. So these are the reason for the breaks in the monsoon season. We are going to see this in much detail as we will move further. Okay. Next season or fourth season is a retreating monsoon season. Now what happens? Sun has started moving to the Tropic of Capricorn. Now Sun has started moving to the Tropic of Capricorn. So ITCZ will also start moving to the 0 degrees or towards the equator. So ITCZ will move from the Ganga plain to the equator. So again, what will happen? These trade winds which were meeting earlier at the Ganga plain, now they will meet each other at the 0 degrees. So the trade winds which crossed, southern trade winds which crossed the 0 degrees and came to the Ganga plain, now they will move back to their home to the southern hemisphere. But now ITCZ moves towards the Tropic of Capricorn. So trade winds from the northern hemisphere will also go to the ITCZ. Okay. So in this way, what is happening now? Winds are moving from northeast to southwest. We are calling it as a northern trade winds. Okay. So slowly it is retreat is happening, and it is very gradual. As I have told you, in northern India it is very gradual, and southern India it is very fast. Since in the month of October, this winds have been retreated from the northern India, but land is still wet. Land is still wet, summer is on, so sun is hitting the land. So lots of moisture and clear skies makes condition very hot. So October month is also called as October heat. Because of this condition, skies are clear, so directly sunlight is falling on the earth, clouds have been gone, but moisture is there on the soil, so moisture is being evaporated because of the heat of the sun. So direct heat and moisture, it makes very damp atmosphere, so heat is very high, we call it as a October heat. So October heat is a very important characteristics of a retreating monsoon. So these are the important seasons, or these are all important seasons of the India. Okay. Now, the after seasons, one of the important feature of the Indian climate is a tropical cyclone. Okay. So cyclone is nothing but a circular movement of the air with a very high speed over the sea. Tropical cyclones are nothing but they are high circulating winds in the ocean. They center around the low pressure. Okay. So these low pressure conditions at the center, these cyclones are associated with a very heavy rainfall. Okay. So they bring heavy rainfall to the islands, they bring heavy rainfall to the coast of Andhra, Odisha, West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, they bring lots of destructions. So nowadays, these cyclones are very prominent in the Arabian Sea as well. So recently, last month, a huge cyclone came into the Mumbai and they gave sufficient rainfall to the Mumbai, Maharashtra as well as Gujarat. So tropical cyclones play a very important role in the formation of the Indian climate, but they are very destructive phenomena. We will be seeing detailed when we are going to see the climatology. Okay. So friends, when this is all about the monsoon rainfall, this is all about the climate of the India. Definitely detailed we are going to see. Now, when we are talking about the distribution of rainfall, it means in which region how much amount of rainfall is given. So definitely where Bay of Bengal branch is going, that is north eastern region, it gets very high rainfall. Where Arabian Sea branch is going, that is western side of the Western Ghat, you are getting very high rainfall. But where these two branches are not able to go, that is central India, then Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Andhra, there they are getting very less rainfall. Getting it. Gujarat. So distribution of rainfall is like that. West of the Western Ghat, you have a very high rainfall. Eastern India, high rainfall. Northern India, sufficient rainfall. Central India, moderate rainfall. And again, as you go to the Karnataka, parts of Maharashtra, there are certain, we can say, drought-prone region where they don't get the rainfall. Okay. So this is the overall distribution of the rainfall, and this is overall season. In these are overall season in case of India, and this is overall climatic condition of India. I hope you have understood this. If you have any doubt, you can ask me either through social media or you can call me. Okay. Now let us understand the MCQs. Let us see the MCQs based on this chapter. Okay. So first MCQ, which one of the following places receives the highest rainfall in the world? Okay. So Mount Sindram or Cherrapunji, both are there. Okay. So sometimes questions are like this. Mount Sindram is given in our NCRT, so you can write this. The winds blowing in the northern plains in the summer is known as definitely Lu. Which one of the following causes rainfall during the winters in the northwestern part of the India? Western disturbances. Monsoons arrives in India approximately in, yes, early June. Which one of the following is the characteristics of the cold weather season? Warm days and warm nights, warm days and cold nights, cold days and warm nights. I think C will be the option. Okay. Uh, I don't know what is there in the C. Okay. So I hope friends you have understood this chapter, and if you have any doubts, please ask me on the social media. It's very important. Okay, these chapters are very important. Now we are going to get into the real geography, but in the NCRT sometimes the basics are missing. So don't worry. When I will come to the class, we are going to cover this in much detailed and much deliberate way. Okay. So thank you and see you tomorrow for the next chapter. I think wildlife and vegetation is there. Okay. See you tomorrow. Bye.